So
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because I had no idea you did parent coaching until I got the invite to this group, and then it changed my world. So I'm really glad.
yay.
Yeah, we moved 3 times in the space of a year and a half. My son would make friends and lose friends and all of this. So now I'm finally getting here in the last few months, actually settling in. We'd noticed just this uptick in his aggression and his frustration. And it was getting to this point where like all of the tools I had found and read about just weren't working. And so I told my husband, I said, okay, I'm going to do this clarity call with Flora. And if that doesn't work, we're going to family counseling because I can't, like, I don't know what else to do. It was that bad. He was just hitting and screaming, and I was losing my temper multiple times a day. And it was just not fun to be around my kid. And that's so sad. Like, I love him. I want to enjoy him, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I so appreciate your honesty with that because I have totally been there. I still have days that I get there. And that just feels so rotten because I know how much you have wanted to have this child in your life. You guys worked hard to have a child, and it's like we get this thought of we want every moment to be beautiful, and then we can end up, this stuff gets in the way, and then we're just like fighting and we're so mad at them. And like, I have been amazed at the level of anger. Nothing in my life has ever brought me to the level of anger that my children have.
Yes, I was just sharing that with my in-laws. I was like, I was a chill person until I had a kid. And then I'm like, wow, the rage is like.
Totally. And you're like, oh my, and then you go, is something wrong with me?
Yes.
Because I've always been chill, and like, why is this happening? You get in this doubt and shame.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they just that's just part of this very intimate relationship. It's like the next most intimate relationship to marriage. Right. That just can get to the core of these buttons. And then on top of it, you have all these hopes for what you're raising and what you want in them. And so then it's a perfect breeding ground for a lot of anger.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, I had heard, you know, I'd watched all of your videos and got those tips, but I didn't know how to apply them specifically sometimes. Like I would try, but then I was missing something and I knew I was. So I signed up for that clarity call, and it was like so encouraging. First of all, everyone, you should do it because Laura is so encouraging. There's no mom shaming. Like all of my dirty little like frustrations and secrets, she's like, been there. So it's totally like just encouraging, you know, to say like, I'm not alone. This is totally normal to feel, but you don't have to stay there. So yes. Yeah, so we worked through different things, and I was able to just like go through my whole mental process of what does this look like? How do I kind of grapple with this? And so then I went and picked him up from his preschool, came home, and it was like at lunch, we had our first opportunity to deal with it.
That's so helpful of him. He just wanted to give you an opportunity right away.
Guys, like, you need some practice. So, yeah, I think he had wanted more of some food. And I said, okay, well, I want you to finish this egg sandwich first or whatever. And he just looked at me and picked up the egg and dropped it on the floor. And I said, you need to pick that up. And he yelled in his full rage, no! And I like hit the table, and then I was like, oh, my anger. So I got up and I walked away, and I calmed down. I'm just being real, everybody.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Totally been there. Yes, I'm not thinking, oh my goodness, how could you? I'm thinking, yep, been there.
Yeah. So then I calmed myself down and I came back, and, you know, I don't remember all of the words I said, but I worked through that like, all right, I need you to pick that up until, or before I can get you the next food, like we talked about. And then he yelled at me, no, again. And I said, okay, when you're ready to speak respectfully and do what I asked you, then that's what will happen. And I'm going to go play outside. Because he talked about like, just pretend like their tantrum has no effect. And so I would like started humming a little song, went outside, and he's like, wait, I want to play outside.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like, okay, what do you need to do that? And he goes, pick up the egg. And he happily picked up the egg and put it in the trash can. And I was like, okay, I'm sold.
Okay, I'm on board.
Because I was expecting another 20, like his average tantrum was 20 minutes of me being like, you need to stop screaming. You need to stop kicking. I'm going to go in the other room. I'm going to do like, it was just him chasing me down all the time. And this put me back in that place of control, saying, here's what's going to happen. And you can be upset about it, but that doesn't change me.
Yeah.
That's like freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yay. and then how's how that affected you? Like just how you feel in your day and yourself, in your marriage? Like what else about that freedom?
Yeah, I just feel like because there's that anger and that like feeling trapped when you just feel like you're at the mercy of your child's emotions. And so then I would be on edge, and then Jeff would come home, and I'd be like, nah, I can't handle any more neediness or anything. I mean, he'd be like, hi. I'm like, okay, give me
Yeah.
space. You
I've
know?
got nothing for you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so he's like, I'm just walking into this like chaos mode. And then our kid goes into another tantrum, and then I don't have anything. And so it was just really like stealing all of our joy from our family time. And like, we really do like being together.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So it's like we were all really sad about that. And so being able to have these shifts and being able to share them with Jeff, where he goes, he can employ it too, then we have like this united front finally, instead of, oh, you're remembering that tactic I tried last week, but I gave up on that. Forgot to tell you I gave up on it. You know, it's like, here we have something that we're doing together. And so, you know, Ryder, my son can go and try both of us, but it's the same result. And so then we can be united. So what that's done is it's just taken the stress out of our time. And like, we went out to breakfast the other morning, and I knew if something came up, I knew how to handle it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna have to leave. Like, no, I just
like you're on pins and needles, like, oh, what will we do if this happens?
Right. Or we're gonna like, it's gonna ruin our breakfast, we'll have to take it to go. Like, no, we had a wonderful time, and there were upsets, and we were able to bring them back down. And this morning going to school, I don't know why, he was just wanting to fight everything and feeling angry, and we were able to validate his feelings and calm him down, and he happily went off to school. And like, so just it's reduced the stress, and we feel like we can get our time back. We're not a slave to it. And I feel like I can just have more joy and enjoy being around him, because like you keep saying, like, I can decide what I'm going to do and then just do it. And I don't have to be changing constantly based on his emotion.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm just like, I'm so excited for you that you chose this. You know, I'm sure, like you said, it's like, is this worth it? Maybe we should try this other avenue. Maybe we can just read a book. And yet, like, what was different? What do you think, you know, like, has made it so you could really get the results? I mean, I guess part of it, you said earlier, it's like, you would read it and even see it in my post, but then to have that personal, like, okay, but wait, here's like the one way it's not working. I need to talk to you to get this idea really solidified.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I had, like, when we talked, I said, I agree with your principles, and that's what I'm trying to employ, but I just don't know how to do it. Like, I didn't have the confidence that I was doing the right thing in that situation. And so having someone say, okay, when he's doing this, I want to do this, and say, yes, you should, have that confidence to do that, and stick to your guns instead of like trying 10 different things in the same situation. So yeah, that specific feedback, because I feel like when you read a book, you might have one or two situations that you're like, oh, I've been there, that this is really helpful. But then all the others, you're trying to apply this principle. And in the moment, it feels like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Like, I have questions. And so to have that support from you, and to say like, oh yes, specifically, or try this, or have you thought about how you're reacting? Like, think about what you're experiencing, what your expectations are. And so I've had so many of those aha moments of like, oh, like I'm doing this to myself, and like not feeling bad about myself, but like, no, that gives me power because I can change that.
Yes, 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 yes. You are just like, you are winning. I wish I could just high five you all over the place. It's so fun.